Hi, I'm Damon Albarn, and I was just always felt it was the most wonderful way to go to sleep, with stories in your head. I'm here in a barn, and I'm going to perform Nearer the Fountain, More Pure the Stream Flows for you. It comes from a John Clare poem, Love and Memory. At the time, I wasn't really focusing on the love and memory aspect of the poem. It was just this really strong, hopeful phrase that stayed with me for so long. But now the title of the poem seems very poignant. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you something not in Brussels, not anywhere but here. And I just felt like this was something that myself and all the musicians and all the people who have been involved with this would want you to hear. It became a record where I was singing about very much my own experiences. You know, how do we know that we really exist other than that little beam of light which is our history? I sort of started going back to places which I felt might give me some sense of, well, who am I now and how do I feel about stuff? So I went back to Leytonstone. I was pretty lucky in the sense that there was, didn't seem to be many boundaries about what you could and what you couldn't do. I suppose I grew up in that sort of environment, and that more than anything has informed who I am. It really had a very strong effect on me at that time. Look, it all comes so low to us. I think any kid that moves can't help but be sort of slightly affected by it. It was such a different culture. Essentially very Anglo-Saxon and quite conservative. It's sort of, I would say, almost the antithesis of Leytonstone. And if there was no one here, I could kind of play what I wanted. Quite a singular thing to be doing when you're a teenager, sitting on your own in church and playing an organ. Took classical music quite seriously. I had a piano teacher that I went to every week. Found it quite restricted. By the time I was 13, I was probably playing in the porter cabin at school with Graham. I suddenly realised there was something slightly different about the space around it. And I looked down and there was this huge, great pentangle that had been built around the tree. So you can imagine that was kind of a bit shocking, really. It's really hard to articulate what it meant. And I still don't really understand what it meant, but it did haunt me for many, many years. That experience is sort of is peppered over the album. That singular thing. It's not all just put into one song. And the feelings around it, and my feelings about growing up here. I don't know. They seem very sort of. The basic idea and melody usually is something I do on my own. So in that sense, it's not really vastly different from what I've done all my life. For those who give a shit, and I'm not assuming anyone does, then hopefully there's a bit of an insight into who I am. Otherwise it's just a neurotic, left-handed, middle-aged man talking nonsense out there into the void. I've always read to my daughter, and I was always read to, and I was just always felt it was the most wonderful way to go to sleep, with stories in your head. I'm here in a barn, and I'm going to perform Nearer the Fountain, More Pure the Stream Flows for you. It comes from a John Clare poem, Love and Memory. At the time, I wasn't really focusing on the love and memory aspect of the poem. It was just this really strong, hopeful phrase that stayed with me for so long. But now the title of the poem seems very poignant. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you something not in Brussels, not anywhere but here. And I just felt like this was something that myself and all the musicians and all the people who have been involved with this would want you to hear. It became a record where I was singing about very much my own experiences. You know, how do we know that we really exist other than that little beam of light which is our history? I sort of started going back to places which I felt might give me some sense of, well, who am I now and how do I feel about stuff? So I went back to Leytonstone. I was pretty lucky in the sense that there was, didn't seem to be many boundaries about what you could and what you couldn't do. I suppose, I grew up in that sort of environment, and that more than anything has informed who I am. It really had a very strong effect on me at that time. Look, it all comes so low to us. I think any kid that moves can't help but be sort of slightly affected by it. It was such a different culture, essentially very Anglo-Saxon and quite conservative. I would say almost the antithesis of Leytonstone. And if there was no one here, I could kind of play what I wanted. Quite a singular thing to be doing when you're teenagers. You're sitting on your own in church and playing an organ. Took classical music quite seriously. I had a piano teacher that I went to every week. Found it quite restricted. By the time I was 13, I was probably playing in the Port Academy school with Graham. Suddenly realised there was something slightly different about the space around it. And I looked down and there was this huge, great pentangle that had been built around the tree. So you can imagine that was kind of a bit shocking, really. It's really hard to articulate what it meant. And I still don't really understand what it meant, but it did haunt me for many, many years. That experience is sort of is peppered over the album. That singular thing, it's not all just put into one song. It's the feelings around it, and my feelings about growing up here. I don't know. They seem very sort of the basic idea and melody usually. It's something I do on my own. So in that sense, it's not really, vastly different from what I've done all my life. For those who give a shit, and I'm not assuming anyone does, then hopefully there's a bit of an insight into who I am. Otherwise, it's just a neurotic, left-handed, middle-aged man talking nonsense out there into the void.